रूपनुगतरिवर श्रील भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रील पृष्ठ ओम विष्णु पाद स्टोर सरस्वत गौर गोविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रील पृष्ठ ओम विष्णु पाद स्टोर सरस्वत भक्ति विज्ञान वर्त गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। लीला पृष्ठ ओम विष्णु पाद स्टोर सरस्वत भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद स्टोर सरस्वत भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद स्टोर सरस्वत भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सुरता गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। महाभगव प्रवास भोग षोडश भगवान महाराज की जय। सप्तम गोस्वामी सिद्धांत चक्र भक्तिनोद की जय। वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास महाराज की जय। श्री गौरी वेदांताचार्य श्रील बलदेव विभूषभू की जय। श्रील विष्णु चक्रपाद की जय। श्री नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्रय की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी पाद की जय। जय श्री रूप सनातन भद्र गुणान श्री जीव गोपाल भद्रदास रघुनाथ गोस्वामी भू की जय। प्रेम से गो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री ब्रजमंडल कीर्तमन गौड़ मंडल की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल करे श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जी की जय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समगण भक्त वृंद की जय। मरेश्वर सुब्रेश भानु नंदिनी स्मृति राधारानी की जय। अनिताई गौर प्रेमानंदे वंदेहम श्री गुरु श्रीयुतपद कमला श्री गुरु वैष्णवंश श्री रूप साग्रजाता सहगण रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पदा सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने। श्रीकृष्ण लीला कथने सुरक्षम् आदाय माधुर्गुणैस्तयुक्तं वरं वरेण्यं पुरुषं महन्तं नारायणं तं शिरसा नमामि। श्रीदण्डनं भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादवृद्धकरिधि चैतन्यलीलामृतसार नारायणं तं सततं प्रपद्ये। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाणी पश्चादेशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय आचार्य सिंहरूपिणे Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava iti namine Atimarja Charitraya Swasitanancha Paline Jiva Duke Sadartaya Srinama Premadayane Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati iti namine Shri Varshavanavi Devi Daita Kripabde Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhavena Madhuyajvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Namaste Gauravani Srimurtai Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Gantahayane Namo Gaura Kishoraya Saksat Vairagya Murte Vipalambara Sambode Padam Bhujayate Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Surupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Mumastam Nedasta Sachanapriya Vaishnava Sabhavomashri Taganatayate Vanchakalpatarubhasa Kripa Sindhu Vaivacham Putitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Jayatam Suratorpango Mama Mandamate Gati Matsarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madan Mohanam Divyad Vrindaranya Kalvadumada Srimadatnagara Singhasanasto Sri Sri Radha Srila Govinda Devo Vashtari Vishe Vimanusmarami Srimanasara Sarambe Vansi Bhatta Tatastataha Karshan Venu Swanair Gopi Gopinata Shri Istunaha Vrinde Tulasi Devyai Vyai Kesava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Pani Devi Sattvatai Namo Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Maharaj, would you like to sing a song, Guru Tattva?
Okay, Page 32. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Krishna Krishna Ati Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Krishna Krishna Ati Sakala Sakala Sahane Bharatiya Karo Nijamane Sriharina Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Krishna Krishna Ati Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Krishna Krishna Sakale Samana Purite Sadaji Devunata Jata Jata Sakale Samana Purite Sadaji Devunata Jata Jata Sabakukai Ko Harinama Tukai Ko Krishna
to Vaishnavas.
44. 44. এবার করুণা করো বৈষ্ণব গোসাই পতিত পাবনা বিনা কেহ
Amen.
sing kirtan to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Ladies?
Yes? Anyone can volunteer.
I ate too many cookies.
Anurag, he's a good singer.
Yeah. Anurag actually. What page?
86 on this.
Goranga Bolite.
86.
Goranga Bolite Hare Hare
पतित पावन परमदयाल प्रेमदाता पद्मावती कुमार श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिदानंद श्री गौरांग महाप्रभु की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे। By the mercy of Guru and Vaishnavas and Mahaprabhu, now we approach Vrindavan Dham. Jai Jai Sundar Nanda Kumar. भले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। हरे सनिवाली की जय। विश्वभानु राजकुमारी जू की जय। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय सुंदरा नंद कुमार। जय जय सुंदरा नंद कुमार। जय जय सुंदरा नंद Cha ganasa Jodita bara ganasa Jaya Jaya Sundara Nanda Kumar Jaya Jaya Sundara Nanda Kumar Jaya Jaya Sundara Nanda Kumar Chatulaganchala Rachitara Radha Madana Bhuvana Vimohana Manjulanatana Hana Manjulanatana Bhuvana Vimohana Manjulanatana Manjulana Dana Gati Palgita Maniha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare. Jaya Nanda Nanda, Jaya Yashoda Nanda, Jaya Nanda Nanda, Jaya Yashoda Nanda. Jaya Radha Raman, Jaya Radha Raman, Radha Raman, Jaya Radha Raman. Lord Premanande. So we sing one more kirtan, Mahamantra Kirtan. So I think everyone was sitting for a long time, so we can stand up. And everyone can dance. No excuses unless you have a note from your doctor. Everyone has to dance. For the pleasure of Gaur Nitai. Hare Krishna. Get loose. Shastra nahi sabha vichar. In the names of Gornitai, no consideration of offense. So now everyone is free from all Namaparat by the mercy of Gornitai. Now we can pray for the nectar of Radha Krishna to descend in the form of Hare Krishna Maha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare All devotees, please sit down and be comfortable. Hare Krishna.
So when I put the phone down, yeah, you have to put the monitor in the back.
Hare Krishna.
So then, phone call. the sound down.
Namashristam manamapi Eshachiputram Atra surupam Rupam tasyagrajamuri purim Maturim gostuvatim Radha Kundamagirivaram Ahoradikam Harvasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Gurum Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Itadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hema Bhadvyatstave Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vinam Aparada Lakshay Chiptasya Kamaditaram Bhamade Kripamahitam Sharanam Prapanam Vrinde Namaste Charanara Vrindam Vrinde Namaste Charanara Vrindam Govinda Namo Dharamadaveti Govinda Namo Dharamadaveti Govinda Namo Dharamadaveti Govinda Namo Dharamadaveti. Everyone. Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Zaki, Govinda Namo Dharamadaveti. Sham Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smarha Sumurli Manohara Radhika Rasakamama Kripanithe Suprichana Kinkarim Kuru Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tayavana Iti Vikyaya Devi Tam Nayamam Charantikam. First of all, of my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadaya Paramaradatam Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Satasishmat, Rupanugacharya Varya, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Vancha kalpatarubhascha So, by the causeless mercy of Guru and Gauranga, now I have arrived in Alachua, and I feel very fortunate to have the association of so many very sweet and dedicated and faithful devotees. My transcendental spiritual family. When I look around, I become so happy. I see my Indupati Prabhu. We were bhaktas together in England in the 80s. So we go back a long way. Oh, here. And now I'm seeing him after many years. When he was a little boy, he and his brother, when I used to live with Srila Gaura Govinda Maharaj at his lotus feet in Bhubaneswar, he was there also with his brother and his father Bhakta Rupa Prabhu. So I'm so overwhelmed with joy to see him after a long time. And also my Radhavala Prabhu. Many years before, when I was a Sankirtan leader in London. So there are some brahmacharis and brahmacharinis, and one of the ladies on this party was his wife, Krishna Vallabha. So many memories going back 30 years. So, and all very dedicated disciples of Srila Gurudev and other great acharyas are here. So I feel fortunate to have your association. I'm grateful that you have come to give me a chance to serve you by speaking some Harikatha. This evening, we want to discuss Nam Tattva. The chanting of the holy names is central to our spiritual life, specifically for those who are in the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates made many astonishing claims about the power of the holy names. Mahaprabhu said, Ek naam basi tomar papa dosa jabe, ar naam loite Krishna charana paive. If you chant one Nam Abbas, at once all your pap, all your sins are completely destroyed with the first name. And then the second name, the next time you chant, you attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So there are two stages to chanting. The first time you say Hare Krishna, it destroys your material existence. And the second time you say Hare Krishna, you get Krishna Prem. However, due to only my own fault, this process, which is very simple, has two stages, destroying all sins and attaining love at once, has become elongated and stretched out over a period of time. And this is due to only Nam Aparad. Otherwise, the chanting of the holy name only has two stages, taking away your material existence and giving you Krishna himself. But due to some history in this life and previous lives of some offenses, then the process is elongated and becomes ado shraddha sadhu sanga bhajana kriya nata nivritti nishta ruchi asakti bhav prem, instead of just shraddha and prem. So this is the fact. So nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavata tamashloke bhakti bhavati naistaki. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam daily and serving not only the book Bhagavat, but the person Bhagavat, the pure Vaishnavas, then gradually everything which is abhadra, inauspicious, is taken away from our life. So that abhadra, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, is nam aparad. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and serving the pure devotees, we gradually become free from the effects of nama parad. And then, taramadye savashastra nama sankirtan niraparad nam lailai pai premdan. Mahaprabhu said, of all the angas of bhakti, the best is the chanting of the holy name Sankirtan, and if one will chant without offense, then he must get the prem. His Gurudev, Srila Ishwarapuri, told Mahaprabhu, Krishna Nama Mahamantra Eito Svabhav Ye Japitare Krishna Upajay Bhav. It is the very Svabhav, it's the very nature of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra that anyone who repeats it, then Bhav, ecstatic love for Krishna will appear in their heart. So the holy name is extremely powerful. Srila Rupa Goswami has said, Yadha bhaso pyadan kavalita bhavadvanta vibhavo drasham tattvandhanam api dishati bhakti pranayinim janasthasyodatam jagati bhagavan nama tarane krite nirvakta kahiha mahimanam prabhavati. It means Yadha bhaso, not the pure name, but only the light emanating from the pure name. The dim first rays of the dawn before the pure name appears. This destroys one's bodily conception of life, destroys one's connection with material existence. And drasham tattvandhanam, and even one who is blind and doesn't understand the tattvas, jiva tattva, maya tattva, bhakti tattva, krishna tattva, prema tattva, but those who are blind of the tattvas, only the namabhas will enlighten them from within. They'll understand all the tattvas in regard to bhakti, and they'll have a glimpse of the divine realm. What is our prayojan? Where we want to, that plane we want to attain. They will have a glimpse of the service of Radha and Krishna. So, kriti te nirvakta kahya manimanam prabhavati. Rupa Goswami is asking, what learned person, what scholar of the Vedas is competent to glorify the holy name? Srila Baladeva Debhushan, in his tika on this verse of Namastakam, he said that means that even Bidwan, very learned scholars who are expert even in Vedic knowledge, the power and the glories of the holy name are inaccessible and inconceivable even for them. So it's very difficult to understand the glories of the holy name. But by the mercy of Nam Tattvavit Guru and by the mercy of Nam Prabhu himself, if one will chant continuously, Nama Parada Yukthanam Nama Nyeva Harantyagam, by chanting continuously, Nam Prabhu himself will forgive whatever offenses we have made to him and gradually reveal himself. So, what I want to do today is describe the Nam Tattva in accordance with Bhagavad Sandarbha. And this is to refresh us. Perhaps you don't need to be refreshed, but I need to refresh my understanding. Sometimes we have some misconceptions and we get into habits in chanting which are not good. Some bad habits in chanting. And maybe a person may be chanting every day and it's kind of like the same, and it seems to take a long time, and like this. It may become mechanical and so on. So if that stage comes, it's very important. Just come back to the beginning and try to rebuild, completely rebuild our understanding of Nam Tattva from the floor up. So go back. So this is what Srila Jiva Goswami is doing. So first of all, he explains what is this Nam. Krishna Nam. The first thing we have to know that Nam is Van Manas Agochara. Van Manas Agochara. Van means speech, the power of speech, and Manas means mind, and Agochara means imperceptible, outside of the jurisdiction. So this name that we're trying to chant is imperceptible and outside of the powers of speech and mind. Note it down. This Nam is Nikila Pramana Pariched Agocharatva. It has the quality. Nikila means all types, and Praman means the evidence or methods of acquiring knowledge. So, Brahma means Yatha Asti Vastu. The knowledge, Yathartha Gyan. Actual, Yathartha means as it is. Gyan. The knowledge of something as it is. So, there are considered in Vedic culture, sometimes 8, sometimes 9, sometimes 10, depending on the categorization, different ways of getting Brahma. Brahma means the Yathartha Gyan. And the method we get that Yathartha Gyan, actual knowledge as it is called Praman. That is the cause of Brahma. Okay? So, the different methods essentially fall into the 3 categories of Pratyaksha, direct perception, Anuman, inference, and Shabda, hearing. So, Nam Prabhu is Nikila Praman Pariched Agochara. It is inaccessible and cannot be discovered or experienced by any of the methods of Praman. Shabda is the exception if the Shabda is Shabda Brahma. Not the Shabda Saman, not ordinary sound. Shabda Brahma can reveal. Otherwise, the holy name is completely inaccessible by any method of knowing. This name is described in the Vishnu Purana. There it is said, Na yatra nata vidyante nama jata adi kalpanaha. This holy name is free from the kalpana, conceptions of nam and jati. So, everything about Krishna is free from the conceptions of nam and jati. So now I have to request your full concentration, complete concentration. Kalpana, the general meaning is imagination. But it means something more than that. Because when we think of imagination, we're thinking of whatever, some fantasy. But actually we're doing vikalpa all the time. Because the way we see the world isn't actually the way it is. If you look at the world and you see Sahasa Shisha Purushaha Sarakshasa Sahakshapati Sabhumin Vishvato Britva Atyatistat Sangalam. Everything is the parts of the Virat Roop, the universal form of the Lord. Okay, now you're seeing something. But if you're not seeing that everything is the different manifestations of the Virat Roop and the jivas are floating in that, identifying with various parts of God's form, then everything you look at, everything you say, everything you speak, everything you are thinking, all vikalpa, all imagination, because you're not seeing the fact. Bahunam janmananante Gyanavam mam prapadite Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudulabha. After many births and deaths, when a person actually has yathartha gyan, proper knowledge, then they see Vasudev. That means Krishna is everything everywhere. So if we're not seeing that, then what we are seeing, the way we're interpreting everything, all imaginative, speculation. So that is called vikalpa. So, according to Shastra, when you see something, at first when it comes before your senses, then you have just a raw unfiltered experience of that object. For the first moment. And then the very next moment, your buddhi, your intelligence, wraps itself around that object and tries to establish what it is. So, the first step of the direct, raw, unfiltered perception, which happens just for a microsecond, that is called nirvikalpa pratyaksh. It is a perception that takes place without the intelligence moving in and trying to understand, interpret and explain everything. So that's called nirvikalpa pratyaksh. And then the next moment, the very next moment, the intelligence identifies the object according to your understanding and tells you this is a cow or a horse or a book or something like that. Right? Now, here in the Vishnu Purana, it is said, Nayatra nata vidyante namajat adi kalpanaha. That the name of Krishna is a name which is vikalpa rahita. It has no vikalpa related to it, connected to it in any way. So, can give an example. The vikalpa identifies the dravya, what is the substance. It identifies what is the kriya, the activity. What is the jati, what is the characteristics, and gun, and the qualities. So all words that we use to describe anything are connected to these things. When we speak about something, we say this is a cow. What is it, dravya? Or it's made of earth, water, fire, whatever. And what is its kriya? It eats grass, it gives milk, like this. So, all words that we use are actually words that come after the raw perception and we come to the savikalpa pratyaksh, the perception with our intelligence interpreting it and identifying what the substance is, what the qualities are, what the activity is, and the jati, gun, kriya and dravya, the substance, like this. So, all the words that we use are like that. Any word. You look in any dictionary, they're describing one of these four things. And after we identify these four things, or some of them, then we give a name to an object. Understand? So, it's a very strange thing in the Vedic philosophy, jati means, in Western philosophy it's called universal. It's a universal. Just like if you say, this is a cow, and this is a cow, and all the cows you see, this is a cow. So they're all examples of a cow. So every cow in the world, you count them all, and they're all examples of a thing called a cow. But where's this cow that they're all an example of? Right? So even in your words, every time you speak, you use universals. You identify, you say that this creature here is participating in this universal thing called cowness. Right? So in Vedic culture, cowness, potness, clothness, and so on, these are called jatis, and they exist everywhere, they're all pervading. And when the dravya, the substance, comes into a certain formation and starts to do a particular kriya, then the jati becomes perceptible to you. You see? So when you see something, what is it you don't know, and then immediately you identify the jati, the universal present in it. Like that. Okay. So that's how mind works. So here, the Vishnu Purana is saying a wonderful thing. You know, he's saying all those words that you do use to describe everything, right? The holy name's not one of them. Understand that. Because people, they see devotees sitting and chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They think, what are they doing? What is this? Self-hypnosis? Huh? What is it? Neuro-linguistic programming? If you just keep saying Krishna, Krishna over and over again, then you'll start thinking that he's God or something? Trying to convince yourself? Why? What are you doing all this chanting for? Right? So, we have to be very clear that the holy name is not in the category of any names that we have, because all the names that we have are of a dravya, gun, jati, kriya, and we give names to things based on that. So, for example, and it works two ways. One way is you see something, and then your mind tries to understand it, identifies what it is, and then your intelligence goes inside to your subconscious mind and finds a samskar from a previous experience with that thing. So that is what buddhi. Buddhi is a selection system that is interface between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So identification takes place. You see something, and you have the impression that's coming right now from that thing is called a pratyay. That impression is called pratyay. But you have the pratyays of many different things. When the object goes, it's no longer a pratyay, it's called a sanskar, and then it slips into your subconscious mind. So then the buddhi goes into the subconscious mind, looks around, tries to find a match for what's in front of you. Finds a creature with two horns and an udder and a dewlap, brings that into the conscious mind, and you match the two together, and then you remember, oh, I learned that this is a cow. You say, that's a cow. So that's the process. You see something, then you do vikalpa, and then the name comes. Like this. Or it works the other way around. There's no cow there at all, but someone comes up to you and says, oh Prabhu, I just bought a cow. In that sense, then the word goes into your consciousness, your buddhi goes, digs around in your samskars, finds the word and the image, and then brings that into the conscious mind, and then when your friend says, I just bought a cow, then the picture of a cow comes into your mind. So it works both ways. Either you see the object and the name comes in your mind, or you hear the name and the object comes into your mind. But in between the object and the name is this process called vikalpa. Right? Or in between we're hearing the name and you're recalling the object, there's this process and it's called vikalpa. So the holy name is vikalpa rahita. It's not involved in any of this process whatsoever. Not at all. How is that? Because, first of all, before the universe was manifest, Krishna was. Aham meva sameva gri nanyadyat sadasat param paschadaham yaditatscha yo visiseta sosmyaham. See, Krishna said, before the creation I existed, and when the creation is dissolved, everything is gone, becomes unmanifest, then only I exist. And factually speaking, in the middle, only I exist. This is the first verse of the Chatusloki Bhagavatam that establishes our sambandha gyan. Our relationship is with Krishna only. So, before the elements manifested, that's before the manas, the mind manifested, before buddhi, intelligence manifested, before even space and its subtle tanmatra, sound, before they were manifest, Krishna was called Krishna. So there's no way that his name is a product of vikalpa of the mind and then attaching a sound vibration to it, because the mind didn't exist and the ether didn't exist, and so the sound within the ether also didn't exist. So Krishna's name exists prior to vikalpa. Now, so there's no giving of a name to Krishna due to your mental thought processes. And now, in the opposite direction, the name coming, rather than you giving a name to Krishna, now the name coming in the other direction, someone says to you, Krishna. Now in the name there's also not vikalpa, actually in the name. Okay, you can hear that sound and you can dig around in your samskars and you can think of a painting, or you can think of a drama you saw of one of your friends painted blue in a drama, whatever it is, you'll try to find your own samskars. But in the name is not like that. So the name is defined as Shastreti Prasiddha. That means those names which are famous, very famous in the Shastra, and which have a quality called Jyotiti Pratita. Pratita means an internal experience or perception. And Jyotiti means immediately at once. So unlike other names, when you hear the name, whatever, George, Then the sound comes in, and then you're looking around, you're doing the Vikalpa, trying to find which George. And then it comes. But the name Krishna, the actual name, when it goes in your ear, then Jyotiti Pratita, without any mental functioning whatsoever, the form of Krishna, the Rupa of Krishna appears in your consciousness. That's Nam. That's the actual Nam. Unless there's a Mayika Vyavadan. Mayika Vyavadan means it's intercepted by the material energy. So if we have a history of offenses and mental speculation and whatever, then when we hear the sound, then instead of the name doing what it does naturally all by itself, Jyotiti Pratita, then there's a Mayika Vyavadan, the mind interferes, and then we just left with our sanskars. Especially if we are faithless. But if someone has strong faith in the name, faith means a prasad, clarity. If the chitta is clear, that's why Mahaprabhu said, Chaito Darpanamajanam. If the chitta becomes clear, then as soon as you hear Krishna, then the beautiful form of Shama Sundar appears in your chitta. We were just singing this song, in the last line of Jai Jai Sundar Nanda Kumar. Nija bala bachan Suritsnatana Chitta Vihara Davatha. So the holy name is one avatar. And when we hear it without the Mayic interference, then at once, Jyotiti Pratita, Krishna comes and plays in our heart. So that's the name. And that name, that is the Vastu Shakti, the potency of the name itself. It doesn't depend on anything else. Because Nam is called Swatta Siddha. Swatta Siddha, self-manifest. This is a very important Vedic concept to understand, the Swatta Siddha, self-manifest. Self-manifest means that something is not a transformation or a product of something else. Right? So everything that you're looking at is a transformation or a product of something else. Right? So, you see? Like your body is a transformation of whatever, puri, sweet rice, chapati's dal. Huh? Right? Everything that you're seeing, there are 5 elements in this world, they mix together and they transform and they become all the things that we see. And so any object, you can trace the chain of cause and effect, go back, and you get to the last thing which isn't caused by anything else. What is that? Sarvakarana Karanam. The cause of all causes. The buck stops there. There's nothing beyond that. So everything is a manifestation of something else. But the Supreme Lord is Swatta Siddha. He's self-manifest. He's not manifest from another thing. So in the same way, the holy name is not something that your tongue produces. It's Swatta Siddha. It's self-manifest. So he can only reveal himself. He cannot be created by anything. So Srila Sanatana Goswami, in his explanation of the 10th offense, Aham mamadi paramo namni sopya paradikrit. It means, general explanation is to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions about the holy name. But it's nama mahatma suttoepi ya priti rohito dama aham mamadi paramano namni sopya paradikrit is literally that you hear about the glories of the holy name, but you don't keep priti, affection for the holy name. And why is it that we're not feeling affection to this beautiful vibration? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Because aham mamadi paramano, I and mine are param, the best. I am this body and I am the best. My body is the best, my mind is the best, my intelligence is the best, my computer is the best, my dog is the best, my car is the best, my house is the best. My everything. Aham mamadi paramo. And especially param means superior. And the deadly sin here is to think that you are superior to the name. Now no one's going to say, I'm not superior to the name, I never thought that. But if you think that Nam is Jivadhin, that means the name is under the control of your tongue. So Naam is Adin, under your control. So then you think that you're better than the name. So if you think you can produce the name with your tongue, the Naam is Jivadin, under the control, subordinate to your tongue. This is the 10th offense to the holy name. So you cannot chant. The name will not reveal. This is one big heavy mic vyavadhan, obstruction. So we have to understand that the Naam is not Jivadin, but we want our tongue to be Naam Adin. That our tongue will be subordinate and under the control of Naam as well. And so that offense also extends. If you think that you can imagine, you can visualize, you can picture the pastimes of Krishna in your mind, you're thinking that the Leela is Manasadin. Leela is under control of your mind. No. Your tongue has to become Namadin, and then your mind will become Namadin. And when the mind is Namadin, then the Leela will manifest itself. So, we are discussing that Naam is Swatta Siddha, self-manifest. And because Naam has Vastu Shakti, its own power. Vastu Shakti means Vastu Shakti nahi buddhi apekshate. Vastu Shakti means the power of something that doesn't depend on your intelligence. Just like fire, if you touch fire, it will burn you whether you know it or not. So in the same way, all the Shaktis in the name, they function whether you know it or not. And therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad said, Sanketyadhavapi tadrisha prabhavaha. That means, Sanket means if you say the name of Krishna to refer to something else, Adi, etc. So there are 4 types of namabhas. Sanketya parihasam vas tomam helam evava. Vaikuntha namagrahanam asheshagam haram vidu. 4 types of namabhas. So any of those 4 types of namabhas, Sanketa dav api, you say them, tadrisha prabhav, but it will still have the same effect. Tadrish means the same prabhav, influence. What is that same influence? Jyotiti pratita, the immediate conscious image of Krishna appearing in your consciousness. There. Even by Sanketya. If there's the obstacle of offense there, then even the Sanketya will produce the vision of Krishna. So how powerful is the holy name? Now another related topic. Srila Rupa Goswami has quoted from the Puranas in Bhaktarasamrita Sindhu. Athasi Krishna namadi nabhavat grayam indriyai. Sevanmukhi jivado swameva sparatyata. The name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna, they're all beyond the power of our senses. But if one becomes sevanmukh, attentive to service, then they manifest them. Swayam means automatically themselves. They automatically appear themselves. So, a person may raise this question. If this holy name is Swatta-siddha, self-manifest, you cannot chant it. It is Van Manasa Gochara, beyond perception of your mind and your words. It is Nikala Pramana Parischeda Gocharatva, inaccessible by every form of scientific, empirical and theoretical knowledge. It's completely devoid of kalpana, and we do kalpana all the time in interpreting everything that we see at every moment until the ekagrata chitta will come and dhyan and samadhi. Then all the vikalpa stops. But before that, vikalpa is going on all the time. How can we have any contact with the name? The name is Sachidananda. Naam Prabhu is a Vishuddha Sattva Swarup. That means everything in this world is a product of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, the 3 gunas. And Naam Prabhu is Vishuddha Sattva, completely beyond this world. Even our senses are a product of the gunas. How will we have any contact with this Vishuddha Sattva Swarup? It's a very important question. So, Parikshit Maharaj posed this question to Shukadev Goswami, chapter 87 of the 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, God is nirgun. All of our senses and all of our words are all products of vikalpa and they're all products of the gunas. So how is it possible? Even for the Vedas. How is it possible for the Vedas to describe God? Because the Vedas are also using words. So in reply to this, Sukadeva Goswami gave a very beautiful answer. He said, Buddhindriya mano pranan jananam asrijat prabhu matratam cha bhavatam cha atmane kalpanaya cha. These two verses, they are actually an Upanishad called the Brahma Upanishad, which appears within Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a 2-verse Upanishad. And it's right there in the first 2 verses of chapter 87 of the Brahma Upanishad. So one is a question, and that is the answer. That's it. Brahma Upanishad. Complete. So, what is the answer? It's a beautiful answer. Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Buddhindriya mana pranan jananam asrijat prabhu. Prabhu, Krishna, Supreme Lord, asrijat, has created jananam, of all the living entities, their buddhi, intelligence, indriya, their senses, their manas and their prans. He's made all of this for 3 things. Matratam cha, bhavatam cha, atmane kalpanaya cha. 3 things. So the first one, for matra. Matra means the 10 matras are sense objects. So God has given you these senses, this mind, intelligence and everything, so that you can taste the sense objects. You can see some are very happy about that. And so matratam, for the sake of tasting the sense objects, bhavatam, and then by tasting the sense objects you go in bhava, that means the endless chain of birth and death. And perhaps after suffering in the chain of birth and death for a long time, you may want to get liberation. So atmane kalpanaya cha, also the senses can function in a way which liberates us. So what Shukadeva Goswami is saying here is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so wonderful that He's given us these bodies and senses and mind and pran, intelligence, and they have dual functions. They can function in relation to the world, or they can function in relation to transcendence. How does that happen? Srila Vishwanath Thakur explains that if you say that God is beyond the mind, beyond the senses, is indescribable, everything, then we can say this. If one of your senses was missing, let's say the sense of smell, if you didn't have the sense of smell, then you would not have any words to describe fragrance. Right? So even the sense object of fragrance, if you didn't have that sense that correlated to the object, then just a simple thing like fragrance would be as indescribable and inconceivable as Brahman. Right? It's only accessible to you, you can only think about it because you have a sense which corresponds with that object. So, in the same way, the Supreme Lord has created our senses not only to relate to physical objects, but to also give us an access to the transcendental realm. There's a special way in which our senses can function, which connects us with the transcendental realm. And that function is Nam Abhas. Though the senses are material, and though Nam Abhas, that comes from your tongue, is material, but the Nam Abhas refers to 2 things: the sound that you make and the light coming from the pure name. So here, another meaning of the verse, Matratang cha, means God made the tanmatras, the sense objects, means that the Supreme Lord has created the elements. Especially He created Akash, space, and within that space its quality Shabda, in order for the living entities to be connected to Him through Kirtan. And so, when a living entity who is free from offense uses his material senses to vibrate, even by Sanketya, the holy name, then this Shabda comes from the Akash, the material Akash. But it has a kind of synchronicity or a congruence with the divine name. And when we produce the sound of Krishna's name coming from the Akash without offense, then it makes like a window that the light of the divine name shines through that. And therefore, God has created our senses not only for sense gratification, but He's made our senses in such a way that we can approach Him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nam namakari bahudani jasava shaktis tatra pitani amatasmanenaka etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaiva midrisha mihajani nanuraga. Oh my Lord, you have many names and you have invested your potencies in these names. And you are so kind that you allow us to easily approach you through the chanting of the holy names. But I am unfortunate because I am not feeling eagerness for chanting due to Duradaiva. Here Duradaiva means Namaparad. Actually. So if a person very carefully tries to avoid the offenses to the holy name, glorifies the holy name to propitiate Nam Prabhu to be merciful, and serves pure devotees who are already serving the Nam, then Nam becomes very, very favorably disposed towards us. And the effect of offenses goes away. Then when our senses chant the holy name, though we have a material sense, then that Namabhas that we are uttering opens a window in the Akash, and the light of the pure name shines through. And that destroys our ignorance. And then when we chant the holy name without ignorance and without anartha, then gradually, Shuddha Nam appears. So Namabhas will give some vision of the divine realm, and Shuddha Nam will give directly the service of Krishna's lotus feet. Directly. Ruchivis chittamasranya kridaso bhav uchate. The chitta melts completely and becomes one with Krishna's internal potency, and then one can directly serve Krishna's lotus feet. That is the Swarup Siddhi. And then after that, when this life is over, Vastu Siddhi. So, this in a summary is the theology of Nam, Gaudiya theology of Nam. So always remember, when you take your Japamala, that this is the greatest moment of your life. This is really front page news. That this Jiva, who's been in this world from time immemorial, with no beginning, is now using his senses to be connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the way that Krishna himself has prescribed. So the glories of the holy name was not known even to great sages. You know, Bhagavatam says there are 12 Mahajans, and there's a reason why they're Mahajans. The reason they're Mahajans is Etavan eva lokesmin pumsam dharma parasmrtaha bhakti yogo bhagavati tannama grahanadibi. They're called Mahajans because they've realized the glories and the power of the holy name. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Shukadev Goswami, Bhishmadev, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, the four Kumaras, Shukadev Goswami, Vyasadev, Bali Maharaj. But Bhagavatam tells us, even persons like Yajnavalkya and other Vedic rishis, they don't know Nam Tattva fully. But the Mahajans are in a different category because they know Nam Tattva. So the greatest of all the Mahajans are the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in this age of Kali to distribute the service of Radhika through this Nam. Chiradadatam Nija Gupta Vitam Swaprema Namamrita Atyutaro Apamarayo Viditara Gora Krishna Janabhyastamaham Prapatye. I bow down, I surrender to that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who has come to give to the people of the world his hidden treasure. The greatest hidden treasure, that is Nikunja Seva. Niprita Nikunja Seva of the Palyadasis, maidservants of Radhika. It's the greatest secret treasure that was never given before, and he's giving that through Namamrita, through the nectar of the holy name. So all devotees, followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, take shelter of his lotus feet first, and by his mercy we approach the Vrindavan. Just like in the evening time we sing Gora Arti, right? So this Gora Arti is the shelter, taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Yoga Pit in Navadvip, Mayapur Yoga Pit. And then after that, Jai Jai Radha Krishna Jugala Milan, then the Mayapur Yoga Pit transforms and becomes Vrindavan Yoga Pit. And that is how we enter into Vrindavan Leela, through the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, have you been to the Yoga Pit in Mayapur? Have you been? Yeah. So Narhari Chakravarti has given a very beautiful description of that place. Once it happened that Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Srinivas Acharya's disciple Ramachandra Kaviraj, they went to Navadvip and they wanted to do parikrama of Navadvip before going to Braj and then doing Braj Mandal parikrama under the guidance of Raghav Pandit. So they were on their way. On the way they came to Navadvip. So they wanted to meet with Ishan Thakur. Ishan Thakur was a servant in the house of Sachimata throughout the whole time of Mahaprabhu's Leela. He was a very great devotee. So when they were traveling, and slowly they began to approach Mayapur. And just as they came to Mayapur, they saw one old Brahmin. Very old Brahmin, he was walking slowly. And they asked him, "Oh, do you know Ishan Thakur? Have you seen Ishan Thakur?" He said, "Yes. I had heard how he was most beloved to Sachimata. And how he used to take care of Nimai when he was a child. In fact, Nimai, he didn't go anywhere without Ishan Thakur. He always used to keep him by his side. And Nimai, when he was young, he was very boisterous and very naughty. Sometimes he used to smash all the pots in Sachimata's kitchen. Then who would clean up afterwards? Ishan Thakur. So he used to manage everything and take care of Nimai in his younger days. And then when he was older, he would participate in his beautiful kirtans also. So this old Brahmin, he said, yes, he's there. And first I heard about him, but then I came here to have his association. Now I've seen him. He's such a wonderful person, such a perfect character, and such an ocean of love of God. Then the old Brahmin said, "Who are you?" Srinivas said, "Oh, my name is Srinivas, and this is Narottam and Ramachandra Kaviraj." Ramachandra, at that time he was not Kaviraj. So then that old Brahmin embraced him. And he said, "Oh, Ishan Thakur, he told me that you were coming. So at once you should go there. He's waiting for you. I'm just going home. I'll join you later." So then that old Brahmin, he was walking towards his home. And Srinivas Acharya, they came to the house of Jagannath Mishra. When they entered the courtyard of Jagannath Mishra, then Srinivas Acharya, Narottam, Ramachandra Kaviraj, they were weeping. And they rolled around in the dust of that sacred place. This is the Yoga Pit, Mayapur Yoga. So he rolled in that place and he was looking here and there. And gradually he came and he saw an old man who was sitting with his eyes closed and tears streaming down his face. And then he knew, that must be Ishan Thakur. So then he came and he fell down and gave Dandavat Pranam at his feet. And Ishan Thakur opened his eyes and they embraced him. "Oh, you are Srinivas Acharya." So then Srinivas, he said, "Prabhu, I have a strong desire in my heart and I am begging you, I am requesting you to fulfill it. I want to see the beautiful places of Navadvip Dham." Then Ishan Thakur shook his head. He said, "Oh, Navadvip Dham is so mysterious. It is so profound. any ordinary person cannot understand the glories of this place. It is even inaccessible for so many great sages. I have heard something from the great devotees of Mahaprabhu. Only by Mahaprabhu's mercy can anyone understand what is this Navadvip Dham. So he didn't accept the request to take them on parikrama. He was just remembering the glories of the Dham. It's beyond me. So then Narottam, Srinivasa and Ramachandra, they went and they just arrived, so they bathed and everything. And then Ishan Thakur, he sent Narottam, bring Srinivas here. So then Srinivas came back to him and he said, tomorrow morning I will take one parikrama of Dham, Navadvip Dham. That means that Mahaprabhu himself had inspired him, that he would become an instrument to reveal the glories of Navadvip. So then Srinivas was very inspired. Ishan Thakur, he was looking around and his tears were flowing. He said, I remember here, the devotees, they used to do kirtan, and little Nimai, when they did kirtan, he would go running there into the middle of them. And some devotees would say, oh, why have you come here? And then little Nimai would say, why have you called me? And then he would run away again. Then they start doing kirtan, again he would run like this. He said, oh, I remember this tree, this Kadamba tree. Nimai, when he was a little boy, he used to stand out underneath this tree and looking like this. And if anyone would walk past, he would catch them by the hand and say, can you give me a Kadamba flower? But it wasn't even the season for the flowers. And then some fortunate person would say, oh, but Nimai, this is not the season for the flowers. And then tears would come in his eyes and say, but look, just look, you might see one. And then just to humor the boy, they would look in the tree and there was just one Kadamba flower growing. And then that person climbed up and picked it and came down and gave it, and then he was very happy. And that person was thinking, this boy is not normal. Ishan was remembering these beautiful moments because he's seen him grow up from childhood as a servant in the house. And Ishan Thakur was just crying. When he got a little bit older, he used to go to the houses of the neighbors. And if he saw some yogurt in a clay pot hanging from a rope swing, then he would come with a stick and poke a hole in the bottom and then put his mouth on the bottom and it was all dripping all over him. Then one Brahmin came and caught him and grabbed him. And little Nimai fell at the feet of that Brahmin and holding his feet, he said, please don't tell my dad. I promise I won't do it again, but please don't tell my father, Jagannath Mishra. And then little Nimai, he would look up like this with yogurt all over his face and just seeing his beauty. Then the Brahmin, he said, you can come and steal yogurt in my house every day. There was just something about this boy, Nimai. He was charming everyone. Ishan Thakur was weeping. When he grew up, when he became about 15, he went to Gaya to do pinda for his father. But when he came back, he was completely changed. Now he came back, he wasn't naughty anymore. He was very humble. And he used to go to all the devotees and beg, oh Prabhu, please be merciful to me. Sprinkle your mercy on me. He would take foot dust from the devotees. He used to try to serve them. If they went to pick flowers for their deities, he would carry their flower basket, go behind them carrying their flower basket. If any devotee was sick, he would go and bring them medicine and nurse them. He would wash their laundry, hang it to dry, fold it and return it. Like that. So in this way, after his initiation, he was completely changed. This is what it means. After initiation, we should change completely and be Vaishnav or Vaishnavi. Very humble, respectful to everyone, trying to serve everyone. So Nimai was like that. So that time, Ishan Thakur said, you see this tree here? This is where Ratnagarbhacharya used to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. So Ratnagarbhacharya was an old Brahmin. He used to live in Sylhet. That is where Jagannath Mishra used to live before he came to Navadvip. So Jagannath Mishra was a great scholar of Srimad Bhagavatam. He loved Srimad Bhagavatam. But in his childhood, he first heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Ratnagarbhacharya. So Mahaprabhu's father first heard Bhagavatam from Ratnagarbhacharya. Now he was old and he used to sit under a tree just outside Nimai's house and he used to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. So now Nimai, he had come back from Gaya and he came out and he heard the Ratnagarbhacharya reciting Srimad. Ha nata ramana presta kvasi kvasi mahabhuja dasyaste kripanayame Sakke dashaya sannidhim. How Radharani was with Krishna wandering through the forest. Radharani said, I can't walk any further. If you want me to go further, you have to carry me. Krishna said, all right, then get on my shoulder. And Krishna kneeled down and then he disappeared. Then Radharani, heart was broken. It was such a shock. Hanata Ramana Prastha, and Radharani fainted. Now when Nimai came outside and Ratnagarbhacharya was reciting Bhagavatam, hearing the bhav of Radhika, because now he's in Radha bhav, so only hearing that, that's his own abhiman. Then Nimai Pandit also fainted and fell to the ground. After some time, Nimai Pandit, when he came back into external consciousness, then he just got up and embraced Ratnagarbhacharya. So in this way, Srinivas was listening to Ishan Thakur, who saw all of this with his own eyes. And the evening came, night time came, and the devotees all lay down to rest. So Srinivasacharya lay down, but he couldn't sleep because he had some questions in his mind. He was looking at the house of Jagannath Mishra and the courtyard and everything, and it was made of bamboo and grass, how the construction was in those days. He was thinking, Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu. Bande Mahapurushate Charanarabindam, glorified in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He's the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna and Radhika themselves appeared in this world. And this is his abode, Jagannath Mishra Bhavan. Why is it made of these insignificant things like bamboo and straw? This question was on his mind. And he couldn't sleep. And almost the whole night had passed. Then he dozed off. So in his dream, he saw that he was outside Navadvip and he was approaching the town of Navadvip. But in his dream, it didn't look the way it looked when he approached the day before. He saw that the whole city was shining gold with beautiful palaces. And he approached the house of Jagannath Mishra. The walls are made of gold. He went inside the courtyard. Everything was made of Chintamani jewels, and it was so beautiful. He thought, even in the kingdom of Indra, the king of heaven, there's no design and architecture like this. So he was struck with wonder. And then he entered inside the palace of Jagannath Mishra. And when he entered, he saw a beautiful garden. And in that garden, there was a temple. And in the temple, there was a canopy and a beautiful golden throne. And there, Vishwambar Mishra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting there with Lakshmi Priya on one side and Vishnu Priya on the other. And they were serving him. And they were surrounded by millions of maidservants, all more beautiful than Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune. So when he saw this is called Antapur Vilas. The Antapur Vilas. The pastimes of Our Sachinandan Gohari in the Antapur, that means the inner region of the house where no men are allowed to go. He can go, and his wives and their maidservants. He saw his Antapur Vilas, and then suddenly disappeared, and he woke up. And he was looking around, he just saw the straw and the bamboo. And he realized, what is that? Chintamani moy kalpa chintamani bhumi kalpa mikshabaya man chama chakshe dekli tara prapanchera sam. Means the transcendental Dham is made of chintamani, jewels and desire trees. But if you look at it with a charma chakshu, that means eyeballs made of meat. With these meatballs here. If you look at them with those, then prapancha rasam, you will see that it's just like the rest of the prapanch. The rest of the world made of 5 elements. But premanetri bohe deke the swarupa prakash gopa gopi sange jaha krishnara vilas. If one sees with the eyes of love, then the actual swarup, the swarup prakash, manifestation of the true swarup of the Dham. So he saw that in his dream, but then he woke up and he was feeling so much separation from Mahaprabhu. And then the Praudamaya made him fall asleep again. When he was asleep, he saw he was back in Jagannath Mishra's house. But it had so many rooms. So from the Antapur, then he walked and he came to another room, and there he saw another golden throne, and Sachinandan Gauri was seated on the golden throne. And on this side was Nityananda Prabhu, and this side Gadada Pandit. Srivas Thakur was behind and holding umbrella. Dakine nitai chand bame gadadhara nikateya dvaita shrini vasa chandradara. Like that. Advaita Chari was in front and offering prayers, and he saw Sankirtan was going on. Sankha baje, ganta baje, baje karatal. Madhura mridanga baje, paramarasal. And Mahaprabhu was surrounded by his associates. Haridas, Mukunda, Vakreshwara, Chandrasekhar Acharya, Murari Gupta, the Raghunandan, Chiranjeev, all the associates of Navadvipa were there. Not only that, but he saw Pratiprudra Maharaj was there. Ramananda Rai was there. Rupa Goswami, Sananda Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, all were there. Even he saw Ishwara Puri was there, his guru, and Madhavendra Puri was there. And they were all there, and they were dancing in ecstasy, and there was loud Harinam Sankirtan. So, from his vision of Antapur Vilas, then he saw Sankirtan Vilas. Oh, this is where we want to go. So you see, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, actually, it was Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj who gave the instruction to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur manifests the temple in the Yoga Pit. So the middle altar in the Yoga Pit is the Antapur Vilas, with Mahaprabhu and Vishnu Priya and Lakshmi Priya. And then on one side there is the Sankirtan Vilas, Panchatattva are there. So then Srinivas, so our chance of manifest is to give us some opportunity. What is this Mayapur Yoga Pit like? So then he saw the Sankirtan and he was dancing in ecstasy, but then it disappeared and he woke up. Then again by Pradamaya he fell asleep. This time he fell asleep, he went to another portion of the house. Mahaprabhu was seated on a golden throne. But Lord Brahma was there, Shiva, Indra, all the demigods were there and they're offering arti to him. It was the Aishwarya Vilas. Then he woke up again. Then again he went back to sleep. And he saw he was going to another part of the house. And there he saw Vaikuntha Vilas. He saw Supreme Lord of Vaikuntha. Then he went to another part of the house. He saw Ayodhya Vilas, the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's now playing the role of Lord Ram. Nityananda Prabhu was Lakshman. Hanuman was, Murari Gupta was Hanuman, like this. And he saw the Ayodhya Vilas. He went to another room in the house. He saw Dwarka Vilas. He went to another room in Jagannath Mishra Bhavan. He saw Mathura Vilas. He went into another one. He saw Braj Vilas. Oh, Krishna and Radhika were dancing in the middle and Braj Gopis were dancing around the outside. Then he went into another room and then he saw a Nikunja Vilas. He saw a very private kunj of Radha and Krishna together on a bed of flowers. And there he saw Mani Manjari massaging the lotus feet of Radhika. That means he saw his own Swarup serving in the Nikunj. So, then he woke up again. The morning time was over. So he actually had the darshan and the realization, what is Mayapur Yoga Peeth? And especially through the Sankirtan, we approach the Sankirtan Vilas. We are singing and dancing all together in front of Gaurnitai. What is that? That means approaching the Sankirtan Vilas of Mahaprabhu. And from there, we want to go to the Nikunja Vilas, the service of Radha and Krishna. So all of this is opportunities afforded to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the chanting of the holy name. This is Nam Tattva. Sri Hari Nam Prabhu Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. So we want to complete our discussion of Nam Tattva here today. Are there any questions? Yes, Prabhu?
I have a question about two of the associates of Lord Chaitanya that you mentioned. Lord Chaitanya had resistance to approach Patraparuda Maharaj. However, he didn't have the same kind of resistance when he approached Ramananda Roy. Both were, one was a king, the other was a governor. So why this so-called double...
It's not a double standard, because you can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Mahaprabhu arrived on the bank of Godavari, he took bath, he crossed the river, took bath, and then he sat down. Then he heard 1,000 people were coming, Brahmanas were chanting Vedic mantras, and Ramananda Rai was coming for his ceremonial bath. So there, Krishnadas Kaviraj mentioned that Mahaprabhu, he knew that must be Ramananda Rai. And he wanted to get up and he wanted to fly there at once. But he thought it's not appropriate because I'm a sannyas. So he just stayed there and chanting peacefully. Then Ramananda Rai came to him. And then said, I will not come with all the people, let's make a time, we'll meet later. Then Ramananda Rai went away, and then without all of his kingly clothing and everything, then he came just with one servant who kept at a distance, and two met very privately. There like that. So Mahaprabhu, he has no problem. He's very eager to give mercy to Prataparudra Maharaj. But to set the example that a sannyasi should not be running after rich people for donations. Right? So he didn't go. And he said, Niskinchanasya Bhagavat Bhajanon Makasya Param Param Jigasho Bhavasagarasya. He said, for a person who is Niskinchan, who has in the renounced order of life, then to associate with a materialist, or to see a person involved in sense gratification, or a woman involved in sense gratification, then ahanta hanta bishbakshna utopya sadhu. That's worse than knowingly drinking poison. So the devotee said to him, but the king is a great devotee. He said, yes, a jewel may be very valuable, but if it's on the head of a snake, then you have to be very careful. So the king may be a devotee, but because he's accepted this title king, so then I should not associate with everyone who will criticize. And so he wouldn't do it. But it said, what is it? Hare Dinodari Gajapati Kripotsaika Tarala Sachaitanya Kimme Punarapadisho Yashatipadam. Rupa Goswami said that just that Mahaprabhu is like a lion and the king is Gajapati, that means king of elephants, and that's the title of the king, Gajapati. So he said Mahaprabhu is like a lion who was trembling with anticipation to sprinkle his mercy on the king. So in poetry, that's a reverse alankar. because a lion is in anticipation trembling to tear the head of the elephant apart. So Rupa Goswami has used the Virodabhasa Alankar, the semblance of a contradiction here in his poetry. So Mahaprabhu, he was eager, but because he had to set a standard for his ashram, so he didn't do it. And the same happened with Ramananda. He wanted to go and run to him, but he couldn't. And then Ramananda Rai, taking off all of his jewelry and everything, came alone and met with him, and then they had their discussion. Like that. Yeah. He just put on simple white cloth of a Vaishnava and came in a private place to meet with him when he was... So Mahaprabhu could have the excuse that he was in Bhav.
And also, Sri Ramananda Roy was, introduced to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So, because of that also, his devotee has given him, you have to see him. He's a great devotee. So when Mahaprabhu had gone there, he was already eager because of...
Actually, that's why Mahaprabhu went on the tour of South India. His tour looking for his brother, that was a pretext. His real motivation was to search out Braj Rasik Vaishnav Sangha. This is the teaching here. You may have greed, you may be Tranadapi Sunichena, you may have Diksha, you may have Sannyas, you may have all these things. But without Braj Rasik Vaishnav Sangha, cannot attain. Kuta Shama Sindura Sasavagaha. Where is the ocean of Brajaras? You won't even know which direction to go. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami said. So he was searching out him because of that. But we cannot say that it was that Ramananda Rai has the advantage of the recommendation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because the king also had the recommendation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya as well. So in that department they were equal. But it was just, and Mahaprabhu was very eager because of the love of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So he was very eager to meet with him. But he just had to find an opportunity whereby he could circumvent the criticism of the general public due to his social position. Is it okay? Any other question? Yes, Prabhu.
Begging forgiveness of the audience. This was like family discussion last night. Myself, my wife, my daughter. My daughter raised the question that, like in Gita Govinda, she's not read Gita Govinda, and also not like in detail, but the poetry which is described there, it's mentioned right in the beginning that the Rasik Vaishnavas taking shelter of this poetry can taste the rasa samagri of prema. But it should not be concluded that the kavya or the poetry itself is actual description, because what you spoke tonight, that's why we kept looking at each other, the recount of what we have experienced in our samskaras will immediately come because we don't have another reference. So I also had this discussion, which Saturday maybe we'll do, because I had this discussion with Maharaj, that we cannot say that this thing is that same thing purified from this world. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Yeah.
Take it like this. Let's say, Shastra said, Venum Kwanantam Maravindadalayataksam Bhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundaram Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishasha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamam Bhajami. Here, we see that Krishna's eyes, they're like lotus petals. Right? So when you compare two things, the thing that you compare it with, that is the upamaya. So upama is a comparison, and what it's compared with, the upamaya, that is superior to the thing that you are comparing. Right? So if you say Krishna's eyes are like lotus petals, that means they're a bit like the lotus petals, but only the lotus petals are really like lotus petals. And actually you've seen lotus petals. So if you've seen lotus petals, can you picture Krishna's eyes? No, and I'll tell you why. Because when it said Krishna's eyes are like lotus petals, they're not like the lotus petals of this world. It means they're like the lotus petals in the spiritual world. And the whole dham in the spiritual world is the Vaibhav of Krishna's Swarup. And that's why the lotus petals are like his eyes, because those lotus petals are the Vaibhav of his eyes, actually. And Vaibhav means the manifestation of the beauty or the glory, like that. So, when it said that Krishna is like a fresh rain cloud, he's not like a fresh rain cloud in Florida. He's like a fresh rain cloud in Goloka Vrindavan. They're different. And those clouds, they're the Vaibhav of his Swarup there. So then you come in this tricky situation where you can't think of Krishna. No. So, Srila Vishnu Thakur explains, actually in this commentary on the verse that I said today, how God has given your senses to work in two ways. Towards the world and towards Krishna. So when the devotee hears such a description, he can chant. And he can think, Krishna is so beautiful, he has eyes like a lotus flower, he has a peacock feather like with the colors of the rainbow, and he can chant, and he can think like this. But he should just go on chanting and chanting, and by his effort to chant, and by his feeling, oh Krishna, I'm chanting your name and you're beautiful like lotus flowers, like that, then this causes Krishna to release his mercy. And then when Krishna releases his mercy, then the actual realization comes, like that. So that's the process of smaran. But we should know what's the adhikar for smarana. Srila Jiva Goswami Bhakti Sandarbha, he said, Shuddha anta karanas ched smaranam kuryat. If your antakaran, your chitta, has become purified by serving Guru, surrender and hearing and chanting, then you may take up the anga of bhakti called smaran. Because it requires a pure chitta. Because the actual real smaran means that when you do kirtan, then the abhas of that is caught. Bhagavat bimba grahitva is caught in your chitta, and then you inspect it. Because the definition of smaran is manasa anusandhanam, a close inspection with the mind. So you can't inspect something which isn't there. You see? And so therefore Shravanam, first hearing, and then Kirtanam. Kirtanam without offense produces some realization, and then you fix your mind on that and you inspect it deeply, Manasanusandhanam, that's actually Smaranam. Smaranam is not just your buddhi going into your sanskars and pulling things out that randomly that might look a bit like Krishna. Right? So, those considerations are there. But there's no harm, because after Nam, the first thing which will manifest from Nam is Roop. So even though a person doesn't have real life, they can chant and they can remember the deity or sit in front of the deities and look at them. Or you can chant and close your eyes and just picture the deity and chant like this. But trying to picture Leela or something like that, after Nam, the next stage is Roop. And then Gun, then Parikar, then Seva, then Leela is last thing. So if you go out of sequence, that's called Vyutkram. Vyutkram, out of sequence, and it will not produce the actual progress in bhakti. So Jiva Goswami said, you have to observe Kram, Sopan, Ritya. Ritya means the methodology, and Kram means sequential, and Sopan means steps. There are sequential steps. So when you observe the sequential steps of Smaranam, then you easily attain it. So it shouldn't be messed up. Now in regard to Gita Govinda, so in the beginning, Jayadeva Goswami said, Yadi Hari Smarane Sarasamana, Yadi Vilas Kalas Kutuhalam, Madhura Komala Kanta Padavalim Shrinutada Jayadeva Sarasvatim. If you want to, Yadi Hari Smarane Sarasamana, you want to do Smaran of Hari, and if you want your mind to be absorbed in rasa, then you remember, you should hear, you must hear, Srinutada, this sweet and beautiful poetry of Jayadeva Goswami. So what it means is, if you have an eagerness to know, Yadi Kalasu Vilas Kutuhalam, that means you're overwhelmed with curiosity to know about Krishna's very confidential Leela with the gopis. So that means if you want that you don't want anything else. So it's automatically Anyabhilashta Shunyam from that stage. Because you cannot say, if you are eager to know about these pastimes, but you're also eager to know about the Super Bowl, or whatever it is, something going on in this world. So you have to be fully, all your desires are in that. And then you must hear this Gita Govinda. So it's a Leela Kirtan. There's Nam Kirtan, Rup Kirtan, Gun Kirtan, Leela Kirtan. So it's for the very advanced devotees. But some of the verses may be a Rup Kirtan. Sanchara dadara sudha madhura dvani mukarita mohana bansa balita driganchala chanchala moli kapola vilola vatangsa rase harim hiya bito vilasam. So it goes on with some leela, but there are some verses which are just do a rup dhyan. How Krishna's playing his flute, his earrings are swinging, he's glancing, and so on. So one can think about something from Gita very selectively. But those who are very advanced, Mahaprabhu in his final stages in Puri, that's when he was really relishing Gita Govinda. So mainly in Navadvip he was loud Harinam Sankirtan. And that's the best thing. And actually everything is included in that. From that loud Nam Sankirtan, all Leela will gradually manifest. So there may be more questions, but we'll have to take them tomorrow because it's getting late. Can we sing one Kirtan? And then one small Kirtan? And then we'll serve prasadam. Sila Gurudev ki jai, Sila Guru Govinda Maharaj ki jai, Sila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Sila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Rupanuga Gauri Guru Bhag ki jai, Jai Gaura Paramanande, Hari Hari Bo. Hare Okay, everyone stretch. Touch the ceiling. Oh, that feels good. Yeah, okay. Turn to your person on your right, give them a shoulder rub. Oh, yeah. Great. That's good. Return the favor. Loosen up. Get ready for another Maha Sankirtan Rasa in Mayapur. Sankirtan Vilas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Girdhari Shri Shri Radhanagari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Yuki Jai Nitya Prishth Om Ishvare Stasmad Upanugitari Vaishnava Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Raj Nitya Prishth Om Ishvare Stasmad Gaur Govinda Goswami Raj Nitya Prishth Om Ishvare Stasmad Bhakti Vigyan Bharat Goswami Raj Nitya Prishth Om Ishvare Stasmad Bhakti Vedanta Bhaman Goswami Raj Nitya Prishth Om Ishvare Stasmad Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Prishth Om Ishvare Stasmad Bhaktivedanta Kesh Goswami Raj Ki Jai Jai Srila Bhakti Sanskrit Thakur Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Mahabhagavad Babash Gokshodas Bhagavad Maharaj Ki Jai Satam Goswami Sasan Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai Sri Rupanuga Garuva Ki Jai Prem Se Gos Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Bhajamandala Ketamana Gauramana Ki Jai Tribhuna Mangakari Shri Harinam Sankirtana Ki Jai Shri Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagara Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Madhesrasa Shri Vishwabhanu Nandini Srimati Radharani Ki Jai Sai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo Vrindaye Tulasi Devyai Priyaye Kesavasya Krishna Bhakti Parideve Satati Vanchakalpadurvasya Kripa Sindhavaya Putitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna.
So, the books, some books, and should go into the basket, those who have them. Thank you.
And program tomorrow.